Well, we have renderings of a ballpark, new Major League Baseball stadium in Portland to help you dream further about that reality.
Yeah, be prepared to have your hopes raised and then dashed, but it's gorgeous. I mean, this is they hit it out of the park.
Yeah, so apparently Craig Cheek and the Portland Diamond Project met with the House Committee on Economic Development, Small Business and Trade, and included Portland Mayor Keith Wilson this morning, and they gave them renderings of what a ballpark could look like. Cheek says that they could break ground on a stadium by 2027 if they are awarded a team.
That's kind of a big if. So,
well, it's expansion. For the longest time we thought, would Portland get the A's? Mm-hmm. Would Portland get the Rays? And the answer to all of that, or both of those, is a hard no. So they've moved on to expansion, and that's kind of what we said all along, is that expansion is probably more likely because they definitely need a team in the West Coast time zone. Yeah. So apparently it's Portland or Salt Lake City.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what it's come down to.
That's the battle.
And then they want to be Nashville. Looks like that's kind of a slam dunk on that side. So, but if you go and look, I mean, you can find them everywhere. Oregon Live, KGW, you name it. But it's right there at the old Zedell Yards. And I mean, I don't know how if you are even a remote sports fan, even if you're not a huge sports person, how you can look at that. Because right now there's just nothing down there. And it's right across from the Tillicum Bridge there. And I mean, there's places to dock your boat. There's just the whole thing. It looks like kind of the new Portland airport. There's a lot of timber and steel kind of mixed in together. A lot of spiral rock walkways around it. Not a big outfield. More like kind of the Giant Stadium where you can hit it out of the park into the water. A unbelievable, cool looking retractable roof. It's just amazing.
Yeah, the thing I like about it, these renderings right up in here.
Right up here now.
Well, if you think about, okay, so Zedell Yards is right off of I-5 there. If you're going north on I-5.
Between like the Ross Island and.
Headed towards downtown, home plate will be right on your right.
Yes.
If you think about it that way. And then they will hit out, like you said, they will hit out towards the water. And it does look like you could lace one on the left field side. Mm-hmm. And get the ball wet.
Yes.
Because there is not... The thing I like about these renderings is there is nothing in the outfield blocking your view of what it seems to be. It will frame Mount Hood in the background. And then, as you said, the Tillicum Crossing Bridge is there closer. But...
kind of similar between the Ross Island and the Tillicum Bridge, and it just
there's no scoreboard in the the scoreboard and the video boards are on the sides, so it is wide open from the left field foul pole to the right field foul pole to just look at the view, and there's not a ton of outfield seating, so
I think more of a tiered stadium seating behind home plate, kind of old school Yankee Stadium style.
And the thing too about it is that's only a 33-acre property. I mean, if you go there, if you drive by there,
it's not that big,
and you look at that, you would be like, how on earth did they fit a baseball stadium in there?
Yeah.
And I asked that of Barrett once. I'm like, dude, Zedell Yards, how the hell do you cram a stadium in there? He's like, you'd be surprised. He goes, San Francisco's ballpark, where Buck's a big fan of the stupid Giants, and all those guys down there. He said that ballpark is on actually a smaller parcel of land.
Tiny little postage stamp.
Yeah.
So this would be one of the smaller footprints of a baseball stadium, but it would not be the smallest, which is why they need the Red Tail property to do more developed to make their money back. But it would just be a cozy little sweet spot right in between the two bridges, and I couldn't be more excited. And in some ways, this kind of pisses me off because at least when I didn't have the renderings, like I didn't have anything to really get excited about other than just a dream. When I see this, oh my God, I want this to happen so bad. And I'm hopeful, but I'm not confident.
Well, Rob Manfred, Major League Baseball commissioner, is probably leaving in 2029.
Yeah.
And by that time, he has said he wants to expand to 32.
Yeah, the saving, as he goes out, his final
that's what he wants.
Piece will be, here's a couple $1 billion owners, I'm bringing you two new teams.
So Nashville is has leapt to the front of the line.
Yeah.
Portland, who was way back, like they started this in 2017. Portland was near the top. It is now racing with Salt Lake City.
Yeah, for a while it looked like we were the only ones, and then Salt Lake said not so fast. And if you've paid attention to Salt Lake recently, they get us done.
Well, you know that there is a city that got Major League from the time Portland Diamond Project started to now, there is actually a city out west that got a team in between those times.
Well, Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were all thinking at that time, we were like, see, this is how quickly this stuff changes.
Yeah.
Because at that time, we were like, Vegas, I don't know. Is it too hot? They've already got a team.
Yeah.
So they got the A's. They're out of the picture. But then here comes freaking Salt Lake.
I know.
So Portland, I would say, here's all I can say about the timing of it, because it is a lot about timing. The stars all have to align at the same time. They've been working very hard on this for a long time. They are a very competent group, and they do have ownership money. They do. I know people don't believe that, but they do.
It's true. They just for whatever they have it.
The hard part
100%.
is that well, actually, I think it's a good thing that when COVID hit and we had all the riots and we had the homeless issue, which still is a problem, but you know what I mean? Like it was really bad in Portland. It just felt like this was completely off the table.
Yeah.
Well, with the timing of everything, I think one positive thing is it has taken Major League Baseball so long to expand
we'd be able to get on
that
our feet.
we're kind of on the other side of that. We're still not there yet, but I think the timing looks better than it did, say, 3 or 4 years ago when we were looking at this going, well, there's no chance now.
3-4 years ago, this was just, dude, we had zero, like you said, zero chance. And it does feel like, look, I think we're still the underdog in this, but I think we've got a puncher's chance. I do. But and it also helps for the first time that city leadership appears to want this, because they know that this would be a massive win. I mean, when was the last time someone dumped a couple $1 billion worth of investment into the city, and it transforms that whole south waterfront down there. And again, just look at the renderings, the waterfront walkway that wraps around the park, the docks for all the boats, the kayakers out there. I've always said this about our city. If you've been to places, I don't think there's a city that uses its waterways worse than we do. We have a river that runs through the middle and splits our city. And let me ask you, what do we have on the Willamette that's cool?
We don't utilize it at all. It should be the focal point, the center of the city.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was always weird. I'm a Midwest boy.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that when I first moved here. I'm like, there's nothing on the water here.
No.
It's odd.
Yeah, it's just, it's so strange. I mean, like,
except for that Stanford's restaurant that was down there.
I know, which I don't even know what
that's now closed.
I don't even know what that is anymore. But we have all these bridges. We have actually 2 waterways, because you can go out on the Columbia there, and so we got the Columbia and the Willamette, or the Willamette that intersect, and because we rent a boat a couple times a year that lets you in right by OMSI, right there, and then we take it down the Willamette and you go out onto the Columbia, and dude, the vast majority of things when you're making that drive, they're like silos and abandoned like tankers. Every time we go down there, I just look to the sides and I'm like, how? Waterfront property is the most expensive property you can buy. How is it that our waterfront property is just seemingly a pile of crap and unused yards? So this would be amazing. And finally, as someone said, Scoot could go to that lake. We could just tell him it's a lake. He won't
go to that lake.